What's up? It's your boy Reemus, and on this video we're talking about leadership, order, especially in the structure of a relationship. Because I was speaking to this girl, right? I was hanging out, and we were speaking about, I can't remember how we got on it, but we were speaking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship, and she was speaking, we were speaking about the what's it called, the interview with Oprah. And I said to her, it makes sense that there's chaos in that relationship or that part of the family. I think that's what we were speaking about. We were speaking about the royal family. And then I brought up the fact that there's chaos where there's no leadership. And she said to me, what do you mean, like, no leadership? I said, who do you think's leading? Like, just based on what you saw in that interview. I never watched most of it. I watched snippets. I said, who do you think's leading? And when she actually had to think about it, I said, based on what you saw, she was like, oh, yeah, you're right, actually. You're right. She did look like she was the one mainly leading. So I said, and that's why there's chaos there. So she said, what do you mean? I said, the male's supposed to lead. Now this girl, she's not a feminist, but I do get a hint of feminist energy a tiny bit. But she's still very, like, she's submissive. She's not like combative like a lot of those annoying feminists. So we can still talk, so it really doesn't matter. And that's all I want. I want that energy. So anyway, she says, what do you mean the man's supposed to lead? I said, where the man doesn't lead, there's gonna be chaos. She said, why can't the girl lead? This is why I think she has that feminist energy, because who even says that? So I said to her, well, the male body is actually designed for the purpose of using his qualities to benefit the woman and the family by being the head, by being the leader. It actually gives a safe space for the woman to be a woman. And that's how you talk to feminists, by the way. You have to communicate to them in a way where the leadership benefits them and they never have a problem with it. So I said to her, think about it, like, the traits that a woman looks for is leadership. So it makes sense. If he's not leading, right, now she has to lead herself. That's kind of like the general conversation. So I started breaking it down to her. And she was like, yeah, that's actually correct. That's right. So what was interesting is she came back and she said, but the thing is with Harry, he wasn't supposed to be king. Like, he was never expected to be king, so he doesn't have the traits of leadership. And I said, well, that doesn't matter to the relationship. Girls don't care about that. They still require the leadership from the guy. She said, yeah, but he never had to be a leader. And it actually clicked something into place for me. It actually made sense, and I'm glad she kind of said that, because I never thought about this before. It makes sense. And by the way, before she said that, because this is also crucial, she said, yeah, Meghan said in that interview, well, I didn't know that when you come into the royal family, there's a way to speak, there's a way to greet the queen and all of these things. And I said, well, of course, the royal family is the epitome of having a system, a family that has a system. Of course she's going to have to do things that way. Harry should have communicated that to her. And that's when she said, well, Harry has never led in life. And then it makes so much sense. Because he himself was the rebellious energy in the family. In a way, you could think of that as feminine energy from one perspective, because we know feminine energy is chaotic energy. So he kind of represented that to the family by not following the system. But he was supposed to be submitted or submissive to the family system, which he wasn't. So he didn't learn the family system, so he couldn't communicate it to the family, to the incoming wife. He can't communicate that, hey, here's how we do things, because he's not even doing it himself. Even if he was to teach her, he's automatically a hypocrite. Do you get what I'm saying? He's a hypocrite for telling her to abide by a system that he himself doesn't abide to. And that's exactly why, a woman can't see you as a hypocrite at any time. She has to look at you as the example. So I said to her, again, all of this makes so much sense. And I said, he can't teach her because he doesn't even have the information to teach for himself. He doesn't live it. He probably doesn't even know it, really. And then, especially in the manosphere, you could get onto the girl for that. You could get onto Meghan. Oh, well, she's not following, blah, blah, blah. But I don't blame her, because she has a man that isn't actually her man. She has a man who is not stepping up and giving her the information, the structure. This is how things are done. But what does this mean for me and you? Or the average person? Well, the average person is just like this, actually. The average man is even worse than this. Or just as bad. Because the average man doesn't teach his woman that, hey, this is how things are done, and he doesn't list it out. So now she operates on her own mind, which is not supposed to happen. She's supposed to operate on the principles and the philosophy of your mind. And when you don't do that, like Meghan, being that relationship is the chaotic part of the family, right? It makes sense. It makes sense. There's a bit of rebellion, energy, I call it chaos, that's happening in that family, because that's where there was no leadership. And we can see this. The relationships that are the most chaotic lack leadership from the man. They lack order. They lack structure, right? So I think of it like this, and this is what I'll leave it on. In, what's it called? Yeah, in my house, I have a cleaner, right? Now, when the cleaner comes, we have a regular cleaner, and she obviously knows the system of how to clean, and the specifics. We like this done, we like that not done, blah blah blah. So when there's a new cleaner, sometimes because the other one might be sick, what happens is the new one comes, and she obviously doesn't know the system like the older one does. So you would have to tell her, hey, this is the room, this is that room, we want this clean, this room clean, blah blah blah. Whenever I'm not specific, very specific, there will always be mistakes made, every single time. So when a new one comes, I know to be so specific to say, hey, this bit needs to be done, that bit needs to be done, wipe hair, here's the actual bag to change the bin, blah, blah, and I leave it there for you, change this, and I go so specific, so it's you can't mess it up. If you mess it up, it's really on you. But before, when they messed up, it really was on me, because I didn't communicate the specifics, and they're women as well. So it's maybe there's some sort of similarity, or you can see something, you can see a pattern showing up. That's what I'm looking for, a pattern, right? So every single time I wasn't specific, they always messed up. Every single time I was over specific and assumed that their mind was a blank slate for me to write on, they did it right every single time. And it's the same thing I found in relationships. If you don't tell the girl exactly what you want things to be like, right? If you don't tell the girl exactly how you want things to be, her to act like this, chaos is coming. That's for a fact. And we'll go into that in a future video, because this is the reason why. I'm gonna leave it on a cliffhanger. The reason why is because you don't feel like you're worth being a leader. You don't feel like you're worth telling her what the fuck to do, because you've already been indoctrinated by society, right? And they've said to you, if you are controlling, if you do control the structure to the manner you're supposed to do it, you're actually controlling. That's the word they'll give you, controlling. They might even call it abusive, because of the fucking feminist world we live in. So you're already scared mentally to be the leader you need to be, because you've already been told that that's bad. But you've been lied to. You've been lied to, my friend. You've been lied to. So we'll address that in a future video. Peace.